January 6, 2026. A cold winter morning dawns over Europe, but beneath the quiet, a storm of uncertainty brews. The continent stands at a crossroads, facing questions it hasn't asked in decades. Europe faces a security reckoning. The lights of its cities shine brightly, but shadows of doubt and anxiety stretch across the land. The old reliance on NATO and the American nuclear umbrella is under strain. For generations, Europe trusted in transatlantic unity, believing the US would always stand guard. Russia's invasion of Ukraine shattered assumptions about peace and stability. The war brought back memories of a divided continent and exposed vulnerabilities many thought were history. Now, nuclear weapons are back on the agenda in European capitals. Once, these discussions happened behind closed doors. Now, they're front-page news. Leaders from Paris to Warsaw are openly debating deterrence, a topic once taboo. The fear of escalation is weighed against the fear of being unprepared. Moscow's nuclear threats have forced Europe to rethink its defenses. The specter of nuclear conflict, long dismissed as unthinkable, is now a real part of strategic planning. Defense budgets are rising, and the conversation has shifted from conventional arms to the ultimate deterrent. Across the continent, governments are investing in new technologies and modernizing their arsenals. At the center, French President Emmanuel Macron. He has emerged as a key voice, urging Europe to take more responsibility for its own security. France, the EU's only nuclear power, is signaling openness to discuss its arsenal's role in European security. This marks a significant shift from France's long-standing policy of nuclear independence. Macron's move could reshape France's tradition of nuclear independence. If France shares its nuclear umbrella, it could redefine the balance of power within Europe and the alliance with the United States. The question: will Europe integrate its defense or remain reliant on US guarantees? Some leaders push for a truly European deterrent, while others fear weakening the transatlantic bond. The answers are unclear, but the urgency is real. Citizens watch anxiously as headlines warn of new threats, and public debates grow more intense. Europe's security landscape is being redrawn. Old certainties are fading, replaced by new alliances, new risks, and new responsibilities. Difficult conversations are now unavoidable. Diplomats and politicians must confront hard truths about deterrence, sovereignty, and the price of security. The continent must decide how to secure its future in a more dangerous world. The choices made now will echo for generations, shaping not just Europe's fate, but the stability of the entire globe. France's force de frappe is central to this debate. Born from de Gaulle's vision of independence, it's built on two pillars: nuclear submarines and airborne missiles. These provide a second strike capability. France can retaliate even after a surprise attack. The doctrine is strictly defensive deterrence, not aggression. Macron isn't offering to share control, but to discuss how France's arsenal supports European security. As the EU's only nuclear power, France faces new responsibilities. The question: can its deterrent serve Europe as a whole? Macron's proposal could redefine European solidarity for a new era. Russia's invasion of Ukraine was a turning point. It revived fears of war in Europe and brought nuclear threats back into focus. Moscow's saber-rattling aims to divide and intimidate, but it's having the opposite effect. European nations are boosting defense spending and rethinking their reliance on the US nuclear umbrella. Finland and Sweden joined NATO. Germany and Poland are rearming. The debate: can Europe trust US guarantees, or should it build its own deterrent? Russia's aggression has forced Europe to confront its strategic responsibilities. The nuclear conversation is no longer theoretical. Europe is uniting, cautiously, around the need for greater self-reliance. Macron's proposal is about dialogue, not control. He isn't seeking to dominate Europe's security conversation, but rather to open it up, inviting partners to the table for honest discussion. Macron believes that in today's unpredictable world, open communication is the first line of defense. By encouraging dialogue, he hopes to build trust and transparency among European allies, making it clear that France's intentions are cooperative, not unilateral. France's nuclear button stays in Paris, but Macron wants to discuss how its deterrent protects all of Europe. He's not offering to share launch codes, but he is suggesting that France's nuclear shield could serve as a broader umbrella, reassuring neighbors who feel vulnerable in the face of new threats. This is about extending confidence, not just capability. The doctrine remains defensive, prevent attack by making aggression too costly. France's nuclear policy is rooted in the idea of deterrence. If any adversary contemplates aggression, the price will be unacceptably high. This defensive posture is designed to keep the peace, not provoke conflict. Macron hints that a threat to any EU state could be a threat to France's vital interests. This is a powerful message, signaling that France sees its security as intertwined with that of its European partners. It's a step toward collective defense, where an attack on one is seen as an attack on all. This is a subtle but significant shift. It moves France's nuclear doctrine closer to a shared European responsibility rather than a strictly national one. The implications are profound, suggesting a new era of solidarity. The goal: strengthen European unity and send a message to adversaries. By presenting a united front, Europe can deter threats more effectively. Macron's approach is about building resilience, not just relying on military might. It's not about new nuclear powers, but about leveraging France's arsenal for collective security. Macron is clear. He doesn't want to spark an arms race or encourage proliferation. Instead, he wants to use existing capabilities to protect the continent as a whole. Macron walks a fine line, reassuring partners, deterring foes. He must convince allies that France's intentions are genuine, while making sure potential adversaries understand the seriousness of Europe's resolve. The conversation is about shared risk and responsibility. Every nation has a stake in Europe's security, and Macron's proposal invites them to take part in shaping its future. This is about building a sense of common purpose. For Europe, it's a necessary step in a more dangerous world. As threats evolve and old certainties fade, collective action and mutual trust become more important than ever. Macron's initiative is a call to adapt, unite, and face the future together. Some European leaders welcome Macron's initiative. They see it as a step towards strategic autonomy and a stronger EU. Eastern and Central European states, facing Russian threats, value any extra layer of deterrence. For them, France's arsenal complements, not replaces, the US guarantee. Supporters argue this dialogue could unify the EU and make it a true geopolitical actor. It's about deterrence, not escalation. A clear, unified stance could prevent conflict by making Europe's red lines unmistakable. Macron's proposal is seen as a move towards stability, not provocation. Not everyone is convinced. Critics fear this debate could weaken NATO and send mixed signals to Washington. They question whether France's deterrent would truly protect all EU states. Would Paris risk itself for a distant ally? There are worries about undermining the nuclear non-proliferation treaty and sparking a new arms race with Russia. Some EU members, especially neutral states, oppose giving nuclear weapons a bigger role. The risk deepening divisions within the EU and making Europe less safe. The challenge is to balance unity, credibility, and non-proliferation. European reactions are mixed. Germany listens but stays cautious, committed to NATO. Eastern states like Poland and the Baltics are more receptive, seeking stronger deterrence. Southern Europe is wary, prioritizing alliance unity. Neutral countries like Austria and Ireland push for disarmament and diplomacy. The EU is far from unified. Each nation weighs its own history and threat perception. Building consensus will be difficult, but the debate is underway and Europe can't ignore it. The world is watching Europe's nuclear debate unfold with intense interest. Decisions made here are not just local, they have the power to shape the global security landscape for years to come. As European leaders weigh their options, every move is scrutinized by allies and rivals alike. The United States, a long-standing partner in European defense, supports the idea of a stronger, more self-reliant Europe. However, Washington is also concerned about maintaining the unity and cohesion of the NATO alliance, fearing that new initiatives could create divisions or misunderstandings among allies. Meanwhile, Russia denounces President Macron's proposal as dangerously provocative, using it as justification to reinforce its own military posture. Moscow claims that a more assertive Europe threatens the delicate balance of power and uses this narrative to rally domestic support and justify its actions on the world stage. Yet, a more unified and credible European deterrent could force Moscow to reconsider its aggressive strategies. If Europe stands together, it sends a powerful message that could alter the calculations in the Kremlin and potentially reduce the risk of conflict. Across the globe, China is watching these developments closely. Beijing sees a stronger, more independent Europe as a potential new player on the global stage, one that could shift alliances and influence international power dynamics in unpredictable ways. The ongoing debate in Europe could have far-reaching consequences for global arms control and non-proliferation efforts. As countries reconsider their security strategies, existing treaties and agreements may come under new pressure, challenging decades of progress. Some experts warn that these discussions might inadvertently encourage other nations to pursue their own nuclear ambitions, sparking a new wave of proliferation and increasing the risk of a global arms race. Europe's choices in the coming months and years will echo far beyond its own borders, influencing the security and stability of regions across the world. The decisions made here will set precedents and send signals to both friends and foes. The stakes are truly global, not just continental. Every nation, whether near or far, has a vested interest in the outcome of Europe's nuclear debate, as it will shape the future of international security. In today's interconnected world, the search for security is no longer confined to one region. It is now a worldwide concern, demanding cooperation, vigilance, and thoughtful leadership from all. Europe stands at a crossroads. The challenge: enhance security without provoking conflict or division. Unity within the EU and with the US is essential. Strategic autonomy must complement, not compete with, NATO. Preparedness means investing in both conventional and nuclear deterrence. The goal is peace, not escalation. The nuclear debate is about ensuring these weapons are never used. Europe must manage this conversation with wisdom and patience. The path forward demands resilience, cooperation, and a commitment to shared values. Only by working together can Europe secure a peaceful future in an uncertain world.